You ever get accused of trespassing on your own land? Yeah, that happened. And not just by some random idiot with a clipboard. No, this was by the president of our HOA, a woman named Valerie Monroe, who somehow managed to turn our entire neighborhood into her personal fiefdom. She stood at the edge of my lake, the one my late wife and I built with our own hands, and shouted, "This is HOA property now. You're trespassing." I didn't say anything. I just stared at her, holding that little smirk she always wore when she thought she'd won something. Then she pulled out her phone and called 911 like I was some squatter camping on county land. What she didn't know, though, what she couldn't have known, was that I'd been watching her closely for weeks. See, I'm Miles Redding, 50, retired civil engineer. I moved out here 2 decades ago with my wife, Emily, and we spent years turning a patch of dry land into our little paradise. Dug the lake ourselves, laid the stone path, built the dock. She used to sit out there with her feet in the water, smiling like she could see the whole world from that spot. After she passed, well, the lake became my sanctuary. It was the one place where her memory still felt alive. Then Valerie showed up. She moved into the neighborhood about a year ago, rolled up in a Mercedes and attitude, and within 6 months she'd somehow taken over the HOA. Nobody really voted for her. She just filled a power vacuum with policy memos and passive-aggressive emails. Former HR executive, 15 years corporate. The kind of person who could fire you for being too cheerful in the break room and make it stick. The first sign of trouble came when I caught her in my backyard with a measuring tape and clipboard. She looked like she was closing a real estate deal, not trespassing on private land. "Just checking boundary lines," she said without even glancing at me. I told her to leave. She smiled and said, "We'll see about that." It was the way she said it, like she already had a plan, that stuck with me. Then came the community meeting. Not at the rec center or clubhouse. No, she held it on my property, right by the lake. Without asking, she brought a projector, flip charts, the whole corporate show. That's when she announced the big idea. Turning my lake into the centerpiece of Clearview Lakeside Development, a private resort under HOA oversight with premium access, boat rentals, weddings, the works. She acted like it was a done deal, called it a shared community asset, said bylaws allowed for the reallocation of underutilized land for the collective benefit. She looked right at me when she said it. That lake was never underutilized. It was private deeded land. Always had been. But she wasn't working alone. That's when we met him. Marcus Bishop. Tall, confident, expensive suit, and one of those voices that makes everything sound reasonable, even theft. Claimed to be a community development strategist. But he had the energy of a guy who'd sell his mother's porch swing if the price was right. He laid out a full resort proposal, projected revenue, property value increases, fancy renderings of what used to be my dock, now repurposed as a luxury fishing pavilion. It was slick, calculated, and manipulative as hell. I left that meeting in a daze. Came home, sat on the dock like I had so many nights before, and whispered to the water, "Emily, they're trying to take it." And for a second, I thought maybe I'd let them. Maybe I'd just sell, walk away, start over somewhere else. But then I remembered what she always used to say, good people win when they refuse to give up. So I didn't. I called Sam Quinn, an old friend of my neighbor Pete's. Sam's a lawyer, deals with community law, and has a real talent for punching holes in HOA abuse. I told him what was going on. He listened quietly, then said, "Miles, this isn't bylaw enforcement. This is fraud." He agreed to investigate pro bono, for now. Said people like Valerie and Marcus count on folks not knowing how to fight back. I told him I wanted to fight, all the way. And just in time, too, because the next morning, I woke up to find a bulldozer parked by the lake. A full survey team, temporary fencing going up, signs saying, future development, no trespassing. On my land, Marcus stood there like he was about to break ground, waving at me with that smirk that said, "You lost." That's when Pete stepped in. He's a retired Marine, solid guy, and he'd already started poking around. Turns out, Marcus wasn't just Valerie's boyfriend. He was a professional scammer. Pete found 3 investigations into HOA-related fraud in other states, all with the same pattern. Marcus shows up, seduces the board, proposes some development, then vanishes with a suitcase full of reserve funds. We dug deeper. With Sam's legal know-how and my background in surveillance systems, we collected everything: audio, financial documents, emails, the works. Valerie and Marcus weren't just plotting to take the lake. They were draining the HOA's reserve fund, holding fake budget meetings, and planning to seize 12 more properties using trumped-up violations. We had them, but we needed to spring the trap just right. We found out Valerie planned to finalize the sale of the lake that Tuesday afternoon. She had a real buyer coming, a guy named David who thought he was legally purchasing resort rights. So we waited. And when she called the cops on me that day, saying I was interfering with an HOA transaction, I knew it was time. At 2:10 p.m. sharp, Sam and I walked into the clubhouse where Valerie and Marcus were holding their champagne-soaked celebration. I was wearing my blazer. Sam had the briefcase. Every conversation, every fake invoice, every stolen dollar, right there in black and white. Valerie froze mid-toast. Marcus dropped his smile like a rock. And when I calmly said, 5 minutes, the whole room stopped breathing. Sam stepped forward like a trial attorney on opening day. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, "you are witnesses to a conspiracy involving fraud, embezzlement, an illegal seizure of private property, and we have the evidence to prove it." He played the first recording, Valerie saying, "We make the rules now. That lake fund will be ours by year-end." Then Marcus talking about moving $200,000 before the audit. Then the forged signatures, the fake notary stamps, the personal Venmo payments marked consulting. Even Elena, the HOA treasurer, confirmed that reserve funds had gone missing. Pete stood up and said, "She made me take down my flagpole for a violation, while she was stealing from all of us." And you could see it in Valerie's face, that moment when she realized the whole house of cards was about to fall. By 2:20, the cops, her cops, were reading her rights. By 2:30, the clubhouse was legally seized under Emergency Bylaw 14.3, Reclamation After Leadership Misconduct. Sam posted the new sign right there on the door: Clearview Community Center, all welcome. In 5 minutes, we flipped the script. The predator became the prosecuted. In the weeks that followed, Valerie was sentenced to 3 years. Marcus got 18 months and a fine. I was awarded the clubhouse and damages. But more than that, I got to keep the lake. Emily's lake. Our lake. And you know what? We turned that clubhouse into something real. Movie nights, fishing clubs, potlucks, and veterans coffee hours. Elena runs it now. Transparent budget, open books, no fear. The community finally feels like a community again. But here's the twist. 3 months later, I got a letter. An offer, $50 million to partner with a national firm to help protect neighborhoods from abusive HOAs, build a real movement. They wanted me to lead it. And now I'm standing here on this dock again, wondering if the fight was just the beginning. So let me ask you, what would you do? Would you walk away and enjoy the peace you earned? Or step back into the fire to protect people who still don't know they're under attack? Comment fight if you think I should take that offer and keep going. Or comment peace if you think it's time I put the hammer down and enjoy what Emily and I built. Either way, thanks for listening. And remember, good people win when they refuse to give up.